Hey everybody, this is Pat Flynn from the Smart Passive Income blog. Right now I'm working with my graphic designer on some design changes for the blog, and I thought it might be nice to kind of give you an insider, over-the-shoulder view of exactly what my thought process is. This way you can maybe take some of those ideas and implement them for yourself too. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to ask 5 questions that you can ask yourself at the end of this too, which will help you figure out what you need to do for your website. So the first thing I want to ask is, what's the first thing you notice? Now, it might be hard for you to figure this out for yourself, so it's probably better to ask someone else, and I've done this already. You can ask them, what's the first thing you notice when you come to my website? Now, it might be interesting to see what they find out. You know, if what they notice is some little red icon here, some nasty advertisement here on the bottom, then you might want to change things because you want to direct where your people are seeing. You know, if that ad is the most important thing, then that's fine. But for me, the most important things are right here in the middle, this featured area, and what I'm about here on the right hand side. And those are the 2 things that people have told me they noticed first, which is good. So that's not going to change. The second thing is, if someone new came to your website, would they be able to figure out what the site is about right away? Now this is super important, especially nowadays, because you know the average time someone spends on a website is 10 seconds or less actually. So you basically have 10 seconds to tell new visitors what your website's about, or else they're going to leave. You know, they might be the perfect customer, but they're going to leave because you haven't told them who you are or what you're about, you know. And it's very easy to do. You know, don't rely on that person clicking to your about area. You know, about 99% of the time, they're not going to do that. You know, people are lazy, and if you don't tell them right away, they're just going to leave and click through and find the information they need somewhere else. So, for me, this has worked beautifully, this hello, my name is area. And I've actually taken it out before in a previous redesign. And I put it back in because I got so many complaints. And people were like, dude, that's a big mistake. That's exactly how people know who you are. You know, those people were absolutely right. So I'm not taking that out. And actually, I'm going to make it a lot better. I'm going to keep it the way it is, but I'm going to add a video here instead of just a still picture. So the video will actually have a still picture, but it'll say maybe like click here or press play or something, and then it'll be me talking about a little bit more about what the website's about and who I am. So it's just another way for me to connect with people, and another way for me to tell them right away exactly who I am. So, you know, you can't rely on a video though. So that's why I have this area here, and it says my name is Pat. No, I'm not making millions, but I am living off of passive income made online. I'm here to show you what I've learned. I think from that you can just get an idea right away about what my website's about. So go back to your website. Go to it as if you were a brand new person and try and see if you could figure out what the website's about right away in 10 seconds or less. Alright, and the third question I want to ask you is there any wasted space? Now, especially above the fold, because above the fold, you know, stuff people see without having to scroll down is super important prime real estate. You know, you don't want to waste that space, and I can already tell you right now that there's a lot of wasted space here on my website, like right here. That padding or margin or whatever isn't needed. You know, I can move stuff up and show a little bit more of these ads down here, for example. You know, there's some wasted space here, and you know, yes, sometimes less is more, but when it's for absolutely no reason being there, then it's wasted space. And as I said before, the space on your homepage above the fold is super important, so make sure you're making great use of it. There's a lot of things you could put in there. Now, the fourth thing I want to ask you is anything too crowded? For me, I can tell you right away, and people have told me this before, the space here on the left-hand side is super ridiculously crowded. And you know, people read from left to right. So when they read my website first, they're going to see these first, which was my goal, which is why I put them there. But you know, people are seeing this and seeing how crowded everything is, and I bet some people are just leaving because there's a lot of stuff going on here, and you know, there's a lot to read, a lot of little text to read right away. So I'm probably going to be taking this area out. I'm going to be expanding the text area here so that pictures could be bigger inside the blog post and there will be more text. I mean, just look at how crowded that looks because it's in such a tiny little space. So go to website, see if anything's too crowded. You know, I'm probably going to be moving these over here to a tabbed area, and I'm sure you've seen these before. You know, it's like different tabs. And then whichever one you click on, you know, there's different material down here. That's probably what I'm going to do. Now, fifth and last thing I want to ask you is, are you capturing email addresses? Now, the reason why you want to capture email addresses is because it's super important to stay connected with people. So if your website goes down or your businesses go out, if you have their email addresses, you could still get a hold of those people. You could still start a new business really easily if you have those email addresses. If you don't have those, you're screwed. So if my blog went down today, there'd be no way I could contact people. I do have my Twitter account, but that could go down too. Your email address is a great way to stay connected with people, and a great way to stay connected with them on a personal level, because you're sending the message directly to their email box. So when you do this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a space right here for an opt-in area, and I'm probably going to offer something like a newsletter or a free report or something like that in exchange for their email address. You can't just ask for their email address straight away. They're not going to give it to you. So you have to have something of value for them. So look out for those things in the future. Those are things that I'm going to have on my website. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, the 5 questions that you'll want to go and ask yourself are for your website is: 1, what's the first thing you notice? 2, if someone new came to your website, would they be able to figure out what it's about right away? 3, is there any wasted space? 4, is anything too crowded? And 5, are you capturing email addresses? So work on those things. I'm working on those right now. So look for an improvement on the Smart Passive Income blog hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks, as my graphic designer works on those changes right now. And I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel at youtube.com/smartpassiveincome. Or if you're watching this on YouTube right now, you can click on over to the subscribe button up here on the upper right hand side. So thank you so much. I appreciate your attention today, and here's to your success. Thanks, and have a good one. Bye.